A girl who doctors told might not make it past age 10 just ran the fastest indoor 800 meters of her entire life and became a national champion in the same race. Addy Wiley clocked a 1:59.43 at the 2026 USATF Indoor Championships. That was the first time she had ever gone under 2 minutes in an indoor 800. And she did not just set a personal best. She won the entire national title. She beat every woman in the country who showed up to race that day. This all went down on March 1st, 2026, at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in Staten Island, New York. The best female middle-distance runners in America were there. They were all fighting for a national title and a spot on Team USA for the World Indoor Championships. And Addy Wiley, a 22-year-old from a tiny town in Indiana, walked away with the gold. Now, if you only saw the result, you might think, okay, that is a great race. But when you know what this woman has been through, it hits completely different. Addy grew up in Huntington, Indiana. It is a small community of about 35,000 people. She was the kind of kid who could not sit still. She played soccer and was so good she made the varsity team and earned all conference honors all 4 years. She played basketball too and was dominating the court by the time she was 10. She did softball. She did water sports. She even showed pigs and rabbits in 4-H. On top of all that, she was vice president of her National Honor Society and volunteered at the Ronald McDonald House. She was basically a kid who did everything, and she was great at all of it. Then one day in 4th grade, everything stopped. Addy started getting tired all the time, not normal tired, the kind of tired where you come home from school and cannot do anything. She had constant headaches. She felt sick every single day. Her parents took her to the doctor, and the doctors kept saying it was just a virus. For weeks, they kept getting the same answer. Just a virus. It will pass. It did not pass. After more tests, doctors finally found what was really going on. There was a tumor sitting between her diaphragm and her right lung. It was the size of a tennis ball. It was pushing against her lung, and that is why she could not breathe right. The doctors called it an inflammatory myofibroblastic tumor. That is a rare kind of growth that mostly shows up in kids and young people. Most of the time, this type of tumor is not dangerous. But Addy's was different. Hers was cancerous. She was 10 years old, and she later said that her biggest fear, at that moment, was simple. Mom, will I be home for Christmas? Addy got her treatment at Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis. It was scary. She remembers lying in bed, not even able to sit up, while doctors tried to figure out how to save her life. But she fought, and she won. When she came out of that hospital, something inside her had changed. She later talked about what that experience meant to her. After being stuck in a hospital bed, every step I took was like saying, I am alive, and I am not wasting this second chance. That attitude carried her straight to the track. By the time Addy got to Huntington North High School, she was already becoming a special runner. She did not even fully focus on running until her senior year because she was still playing soccer and other sports. But even part-time, she was better than almost everyone. As a junior, she became the first girl in Indiana history to win both the 800 meters and the 1600 meters at the same state championship meet. Then in her senior year, she broke the American high school national record in the 1600 with a time of 4:26.16. She won 5 state titles total across her career. She was named Gatorade Player of the Year in Indiana 2 years in a row. Big programs like the University of Colorado came calling. But Addy made a choice that surprised a lot of people. She stayed home. She chose Huntington University, a tiny NAIA school right in her hometown. She said she wanted to stay close to her family and her training setup. She looked at how champions like Jakob Ingebrigtsen and Faith Kipyegon trained outside the typical college system and thought she could do the same. And she was right. At Huntington, Addy was absolutely unstoppable. She won 8 NAIA national championships. At one indoor meet, she won 5 individual events in less than 4 hours. She won the mile, the 600, the 800, the 3,000, and then anchored the distance medley relay. In that relay, she got the baton in 9th place and still won. She was named the meet's most valuable performer. She set the all-time collegiate record in the 1,500 meters, with a time of 3:59.17, breaking a 14-year-old mark that belonged to Olympic medalist Jenny Simpson. She ran 1:57.54 in the 800, the second fastest time ever by a college runner. And she did all of this while keeping a 3.5 GPA as a history and political science pre-law major. In January 2024, Addy turned professional and signed with Adidas. She was only 20 years old. Her first pro year was wild. She made Team USA for the 2024 World Indoor Championships in Glasgow. But at Worlds, she went out in the first round. Then, heading into the Olympic trials, disaster hit. She got severe food poisoning that put her in the hospital. Then, she hurt her hamstring. She lost weeks of training right before the most important race of her life. She still made it to the 1,500-meter final at the trials, but she did not qualify for the Paris Olympics. That would have broken a lot of people. Not Addy. She came back and won 5 of her next 6 races. She broke a 25-year-old American record in the 1,000 meters. She ran 1:56.83 in the 800, making her the 5th fastest American woman ever at that distance. She finished 2024 ranked number 1 in the United States in both the 800 and the 1,000 meters. All of that built up to the moment everyone saw on March 1st, 2026. At the USATF Indoor Championships, Addy qualified for the 800-meter final with a 2:64 in the prelims. Some of her biggest rivals had either opted out or failed to qualify. Sage Hurta-Klecker, a major name in the event, did not even make the final. Addy had an opening, and she took it. In the final, Olivia Baker went to the front early and set the pace. Addy stayed patient. She sat in the top 3 and waited. When the bell rang for the last lap, she struck. She surged to the lead going into the final bend and opened up a gap. Valery Tobias tried to run her down from behind, but Addy held strong all the way to the line. 1:59.43. First place. National champion. She led the charge, as only she and Tobias managed to break the elusive 2-minute barrier that day. Tobias finished second in 1:59.77. Meghan Hunter got third in 2:03. But Addy was the one who made the move, set the pace, and controlled that final lap from start to finish. The night belonged to her. NBC Sports summed it up perfectly. From beating childhood cancer to winning a USATF 800-meter title, Addy Wiley is unstoppable. She is now headed to the World Indoor Championships to represent Team USA in the 800 meters. The competition there will be fierce. Just making the final at Worlds would be a huge achievement. But if anyone knows how to fight through tough situations, it is Addy Wiley. And she is not just running for herself. Every year, Addy picks a cause to support. Right now, it is childhood cancer. She raises money for Riley Hospital, the same place that saved her life. She teamed up with Adidas to send care packages to kids going through cancer treatment. She wants those kids to know they are not alone. Every race I run is for something bigger than myself, Addy has said. It is not just about winning. It is about showing others that you can fight through the worst and still chase your dreams. She also has a message for every child sitting in a hospital bed right now, scared and unsure about the future. I know what it is like to face something so scary as a kid. I want other kids to see that there is hope on the other side.